Thank you all for coming to the first Yoga Sutras class. We're going to be going over the Yoga Sutras first, and then the Bhagavad Gita, and then Sutras Yoga in that order. So this is an ongoing class that we'll be meeting the second and fourth Saturdays of every month. My name is Ryan Kurzak. I'm a minister for the Center for Spiritual Awareness in Lakemont, Georgia, which is a Kriya Yoga retreat center. So one of the main texts in the Kriya Yoga tradition is the Yoga Sutras. So I've been reading this book for the last 8 years. It's been one of my primary sources of information on this awakening, enlightening path. The Yoga Sutras, they are a collection of short phrases that distill the essence of yoga practice. And yoga practice in regards to the Yoga Sutras is the practice of samadhi. It's that oneness state of consciousness. It's being your true self beyond all conditioning. That is what the Yoga Sutras is teaching. It's related to Hatha Yoga and Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga and all different kinds of yoga, because the Yoga Sutras, they promote doing anything you can that will clarify your awareness. So that could be living an Ayurvedic lifestyle, could be certain types of exercises. Anything that you do which allows your innate clear consciousness to be there all the time is yoga practice. And that is the practice of it. Yoga itself is when you're just there, when you're in that state of oneness, in that state of peace, in that state of samadhi. Practice comes first, and then you clear away all the garbage, all the conditioning, which allows you to experience your true self. So the Yoga Sutras is broken down into 4 parts, 4 chapters. The first chapter just describes samadhi. It tells you what it is and how to experience it. The second chapter is entitled Kriya Yoga. Kriya just means action. It's a derivative of karma. It's telling you what you need to do to experience this samadhi state. The third chapter is called the siddhis. And the siddhis are the soul powers, the innate expressions of your spirit that come out after you've clarified your being. Okay, it could be healing, it could be as crazy as bilocation, teleportation, although those are a bit far out there. But these are the soul powers that you get from the practice of yoga. And another one is just being healthy, having heightened intuition, and being able to live in harmony with life. To skip ahead to the third book, Sutras Yoga sums up the point of yoga practice, the final culmination, to be living a natural and spontaneous life contentedly. That's it. You just live your life in this spontaneous, natural consciousness, doing what's appropriate based on what's going on around you. Okay. Part 4, the liberation of consciousness. This describes the culmination of practice. So once you've gone through, you've practiced meditation for however many years you need to, you've taken care of your body, you've been devoted to God, or however you think of the divine, eventually there comes a point where you just let go of all this stuff that you know, and then you experience this oneness state naturally. You don't have to do anything anymore. So when you have enlightened teachers who are still meditating, who are still practicing yoga, they might not necessarily be doing it because they need to. They're doing it to set the example for others who need to practice. The 4th chapter explains how you let go, how you give up that attachment to what you're doing, so you can just be there. Okay. Before we actually get into the sutras themselves, are all of you familiar with the caste system in India? Okay. Well, there's the caste system that has the servant class, the merchant class, the warrior class, and the priestly class. So India breaks things down in these four categories. From the spiritual point of view, the way this is treated is you have the servant class, which are the disciples, the students who want to learn to meditate, who want to learn to practice yoga, and they are to serve their guru or their teacher. Now, not to worship the guru, but this is the point that's breaking the student's ego. Because up to now, they've been living their life and they've been trying to do things their own way. By serving the guru will point out the flaws, will point out the attachments they have to their life, so that they can get beyond them. Now, when a student can do that easily, without any problems, then they move up to the next class, which is the merchant class in India. And the merchant class in the spiritual realm are people who are trying to practice spiritual techniques, meditation, to get something. They want something from their practice. They want peace of mind, they want better relationships, they want to escape from oppressive circumstances. Whatever that might be, that's considered the merchant class in regards to the spiritual aspect of things. Now, beyond that, that's good because they're doing it for a reason. They have motivation. They're practicing their meditation techniques. They're practicing yoga for whatever motivation they have. But what they need to do is move on to the next class, which is the warrior class. And the warrior class have come to a point where they're realizing that there's something more to this process than just getting what you want, than just improving your life. So what they're doing is they're severing their attachments to why they're practicing. So once you hit the warrior class, you realize that this is not about getting what you want. This is about waking up. This is about knowing God. Okay, knowing yourself really. And then the final class is the Brahmin class or the priestly class. And once a person has reached this point, they're practicing spiritual techniques. They're established in samadhi just because. They're not doing it for any reason. They're just doing it because it is the natural thing for them to do. So they're not worried about waking up. They're not worried about improving their life. They're not worried about any of those things. They're just doing it because that's what they're there to do. To follow that up, there's a story about a teacher in India who had been practicing many years. He had disciples all over the place. And he decided that this particular anniversary, he was going to give away his secret as to why he was enlightened and why he was awake. And so people came from all around to hear what he was going to say. And the moment came, and all he said was, "I don't mind what happens." The whole point of this practice is you're moving to a point where you act in a way which is natural to your environment. You don't mind what happens, and you're awake. That's the point of all of this.